record. That way you guys can watch it later, or if you guys have other coaches who aren't on, they can watch it. But so this is like our second half of we all talked about some of the stuff that I took away from leadership like last week or 2 weeks ago. It feels like a long time. So as I was going back through my notes, I'm like, oh, we actually kind of went over everything. Like there's actually not much more to talk about as far as like the videos and stuff that we watched. And you guys know that I gave you all the links to this. Hopefully you've been watching some of them because they really are so good. I have watched a couple of them over and over again. Some of the ones on just kind of mindset and the joy setting and all that kind of stuff. I just really, really, really loved all of that kind of stuff. But I'm going to share one more thing from Melanie Mitro's speech with you guys. Obviously she knows what she's doing. She has been in the top for like 3 years now or something like that. She is like just so incredibly, I guess you could say like systems oriented. Like she's just very organized and has a really great way that she does everything. And it doesn't mean that she's right, but it does mean that she's got a good head on her shoulders, and she's kind of got a plan of how she does stuff. So, but her topic was what leaders do. So I thought that would be kind of appropriate to kind of share these last few takeaways with you, even if you did listen to her video. It's still kind of good to talk about. So the first thing that she said was leaders are learners, which you guys know we talk about that all the time. And myself as a former teacher, I love constantly learning and still learning new things and teaching myself new things. So the best thing that you can do, and you learn that in all your trainings and stuff too, is just to evolve as things evolve. So, social media is constantly changing. Beachbody is going to constantly change. There's always going to be new things with on-demand or new programs or new stuff that pops up. And that's just part of it. But the best thing that you can do is just kind of lean into it and learn how to do it and move forward and keep going with it, and just kind of be willing to still have your vision. Not let that enhance your vision a little bit more. So the next thing that she talks about, and I just sent this to all of my leaders. There's a couple of them that I still think I haven't gotten theirs yet, but it's a book called Personality Plus. And I just started reading it. And this is something that Melanie Mitro, back 2 years ago or almost 2 years ago when I started, that she talked about over and over again. And it was really, I'm excited to finish it and read it because I can learn how to relate to you guys better, and the rest of our team and stuff. But it's really good. She said her very first topic was that leaders identify individual strengths in their coaches. And so obviously you have coaches that are discount coaches that aren't working and stuff, but you do have girls who are leaders or who are going to be leaders at some point, or who are pushing to build something out of this business, whether it's something part-time or full-time. And this was just a really cool book that she talked about just kind of learning. She had to kind of figure out what her coaches were like, kind of like in a relationship. You had to figure out, are they driven by getting a nice note in the mail, or getting something like a gift, or getting a shout out, what are they motivated by? And so for me, that was a big gut check for me, because I know what my girls who I work with all the time, what they like, but it's hard to do that with all of your coaches. So this was just a really great way to kind of pick out little things about certain people and be like, oh, you know what? I bet that would really, impact her. I bet that she would really enjoy something like that. So if you need a book like that and you feel like you need to kind of learn to connect with your coaches more, then that would be a really good one. It's called Personality Plus by Florence Littauer. I don't know. Personality Plus. You can see what it looks like. It's on Amazon for $8. Not very expensive. Okay. Next thing, leaders customize a strategy. Okay, so, and this is again what leaders do with their leaders, right? So leaders customize a strategy. So thinking about things like when we kind of created this Diamond Catcher group for you guys, we had you guys think about, what is your why? What motivates you to want to be a diamond coach or whatever? What would that mean to you? What would that success mean to you? And I have all these big reasons written out on my wall over here of things that you guys said. So having a strategy for yourself, but also to kind of have your coaches think about that too, and then be able to remind them of that and work through that with them, and figure out what it is that they're going for. Are they going for a rank or more? Is income more important to them? What you kind of just meet them where they are and help them kind of develop a strategy for that. The next thing that she said was obviously have a playbook. So that just means for you to know what you're going to do every month. And that's like a calendar or a, just kind of a game plan of the way that you do your days. But as you grow your team and as you grow your business and you get more and more successful, it gets harder and harder to take, to manage your time and manage the people that you work with. So, just kind of making sure that you have a plan for what you're going to do every single day, and having those business hours and that business plan for yourself is going to make your life easier, keep you, enjoying all the joy that you find in the business and not getting overwhelmed. Okay, what else? Okay, the other one that we kind of just talked about was leaders know how to manage change. And what she talked about with that was in light of just kind of like the time of the months that we're in right now, where it's kind of like lower, but just choosing to kind of see the positive culture in all of it. And I was just telling our leaders this the other day, me at the rank that I'm at, I'm able to be part of this group called The Wall. And basically it's all the corporate people in there and all these like really successful coaches that I don't even know. They're like way higher up and have been in Beachbody for way longer than I have. But one thing that I've noticed is they're really negative. They've let the business just kind of like drain on them, or, they get petty about little things. And so for me, I really like that, because I think about you guys and I think about our team, and I think that everyone, for the most part, is so positive. And so I told my leaders that today. I was like, you know what, I'm just really grateful for that, because I think, when I hear this kind of like petty stuff from other teams and other coaches, I'm like, I'm really glad that our team is not like that. So I hope that as you guys grow in leaders and, as leaders and as just coaches and in life, that you just kind of remember to always think about that positive, have that positive spin on things. Life is hard and business is hard, but if you can kind of try to keep that positive climate, it's going to change everything, or just, it's going to make everything better. And then the last thing that she did was that leaders are disciplined, which you guys know. So having a to-do list, having a don't do list, having, you don't have to have somebody tell you to start. And that's totally the difference between when I look at my coaches who are successful and who I see taking initiative in their businesses. I have never once had to like check in on them and make sure that they're doing their stuff. They're just doing it because they have that goal in mind. They have that strategy in their mind, and they have that reason why that success or whatever it is would be meaningful to them. So that was something good too, as a business owner, because that's what you guys are. And as a leader, it's so important to have that goal and have that vision in your mind that's bigger than you needing somebody to tell you what to do every single day, because you know what you need to do, but it just also has to be something motivating you that's greater, every single day to keep you kind of moving forward. So she was just talking about, think about, you have to look at what leaders do when they're home, like behind the scenes when nobody's watching. Are they just, talking the talk, but not really walking the walk? So kind of just another gut check thing that she was talking about. But that was kind of, if you guys watched her video, that's pretty much all that she talked about. But it was just really good, just kind of things that we know to be successful, but just kind of a good reminder. And for me, myself, I didn't have anybody doing anything like this with me. So I have had to learn a lot on my own and fail forward a lot and apologize to my leaders or to my team and be like, wow, I really learned a lesson there. Like, let's try this way, or I'm so sorry I didn't show up for this. Or, it's just about kind of just failing and trying again and doing it all again. So, I'm constantly growing as a leader too. And that's what, my wish, and all of us leaders, our wish is that you guys would grow, in our footsteps and learn all the good things that we have learned from our mistakes and stuff too. So that's basically the end of like leadership type stuff that I really, we talked a lot about stuff last week, and then I shared all those videos with you guys. But does anyone have any like questions, or just like, I don't know, anything they want to like talk about or anything? And then what I was going to have Allie do is, Allie is one of my coaches, one of my leaders who went diamond really fast. And she has kind of a really important way that she did that, not just in building, but really in her mindset and overall just kind of like visualizing and believing that she was going to be diamond, that she was going to do it. And we woke up the day of that day that she needed to be diamond, and we were like, holy crap, you have like 4 or 5 coaches that you need. And she's like, I'm going to do it, Ashley. Like, I'm going to do it. And so, and over the course of the day, we were in contact all day long, and it happened. And so, but she just has a really neat story. So I wanted her to kind of share a little bit about how she did that and just kind of talk to you guys, because you all are there. You guys have this really huge goal, whether you feel close to it or far from it. It is so possible and so doable. So I wanted you to hear from somebody who is one of my newer diamonds and who has done it. She's been exactly where you were. She was in a diamond catcher thread and push and everything. So I guess we'll just kind of let you go ahead and start, and then we can leave it to questions and just like chatting at the end. That's probably better, Allie.
Okay. Hi, guys. Nobody says hi back. I was waiting for like a teacher. Okay. I apologize if I'm shaking after my core de force workout. That was really tough, day 2. I also didn't shower, so this is what you get. And yeah, I'm just going to jump in. I jotted some notes down. And I'm going to try really, really hard not to speak super fast. I think I do that. And every time I hop off one of these calls, Greg's got headphones in, but I'm like, did I talk too fast? And he's like, yeah, you did. So I'm going to take it slow. But I guess I'll just tell you guys very briefly like my diamond story. And some of you might have heard it. Ashley, you lived through it. But yeah, I needed 5 coaches the day I woke up and went diamond. So I would have had, I think I needed 4, but I got 5, and that was good. And like always pad yourself is the lesson. So I woke up on Diamond Day and worked the entire day. I was working part-time at the time, so I had that privilege and opportunity to spend the whole day doing it, but you don't have to do that. So I had the whole day, I worked the whole day, and it was like highs and lows. And throughout it, there was just this thread of belief. And I really, really believe that's what got me there. And that's what set the day apart than every other day that I coach. And just recently on Monday, I had a very similar day where the thread was just belief the whole day. Of course, I had minutes and moments where that voice in the back of my head was saying, there's no way this is going to happen. And every single time that happened, the other voice in your head has to be louder and squash that voice. Because if you let that negative voice just keep talking, it will feed negativity and you won't believe in yourself. So every single time you hear that voice, you just have to squash it. You have to talk out loud to yourself is what I do, and just talk louder. Right, I needed 5 coaches in a day. But backtrack a little from that. I really believe you have to find something that you really, really want to go diamond. And it's not your why. Your why is really important. It's why you coach every day. It's why you got into this business. But for me, it was Ashley's retreat. And I have no shame in admitting it. And you shouldn't either. If retreat is your goal, that's not a selfish goal. First of all, it's awesome and it's worth every single night that you spend working. But that's what it was for me. When Ashley announced her retreat, I said to myself, I'm going to be there, because one of the reasons I became a coach was for the community. So this was going to be an opportunity for me to meet these girls and to meet my coach and get to experience all this girl time. And so that was what I really, really selfishly wanted, more than my why, which I think about all the time, but that was the driving force for me to pick that day. So you guys all have a date, a lot of you, to go on retreat. So it's okay that if that's what you really, really want, go get that for yourself, because it's worth it. It's worth it to meet your coach and to experience the community, like the stuff that you learn on retreat. I mean, we still talk about it all the time. Like, it was that fun, and it's now, I don't know how many months since it happened. So let that be, just find something you really, really want. And I have a feeling that that is what it is for a lot of you. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Like I said, it took a lot of belief, a lot of vision. And I really believe in vision a lot. It's something I talk about. It's something we obviously read and listen about, but specific vision. And what I mean by that is you have to close your eyes and think about going diamond. Not like, oh, think I am diamond. Think about, I don't know, what you're wearing, what it feels like the emotions that you're going to feel. Like, are you sitting at your desk when you go diamond? Or where do you work? Like, make the vision so specific that you can almost feel it. And that's something that I like to do with a lot of my coaching goals, is like really like, all I can say is think about the emotions, think about where you are, think about what it's going to feel like, who you're going to tell, like go through the whole vision from start to finish and everything, and look at all of your surroundings, and that will make it feel super tangible and super real, more than just, I really, really want to go diamonds. If you can get super specific, that's just going to help feed your goal every single day. You have to look at it every single day. I made a piece of paper and I looked for it before this call, but I hate that I threw it away. I think I did. I wrote down on a piece of paper, I still have the stationery. Okay, this is the stationery. It's sitting on my desk still. And I wrote diamond date, April 28th, had it at the top. And then I wrote down, and I'm sure Ashley's giving you this, but like steps I needed to take, not just like sign however many coaches. It was like, these are the things I need to do every day to go diamond by April 28th. And I hung it up in front of my desk where I sit and do my work, and I looked at it every single day. So wherever you work, you need to see that every single day as a reminder on the days where everyone is saying no to you and you've had coach cancellations and you haven't hit Success Club, you need to look at that goal. So that is that. And then the last thing I really kind of want to talk about, and I don't want to make this too long, was the day that I had earlier this week that I'll just reference briefly, because I don't think I really knew what it meant to fail forward. We talk about that a lot. We talk about failing forward. And I don't know that it made a lot of sense to me until I had this experience. So October was the worst month of my year in Beachbody. It was a really hard month, but that doesn't mean that people didn't do really awesome things in October and that you can be successful even in the face of adversity. So to give you a little background, I was sitting at Success Club 0 all through October. I did looking back, I could have done a few different things. I worked on Greg's account when I should have been focusing on mine, but just like coach lessons. But bottom line was I was sitting at Success Club 0 all the way up till October 31st, the last day of the month. And it's Halloween, so you like to think nobody's paying attention. It would be like the last day of the month falling on a Friday when no one answers your messages. So October 31st, again, woke up with this belief that I will hit Success Club today. Same as my diamond belief. There was not a doubt in my mind. And when there was, I squashed it. I believed so hard that I would hit Success Club that day. So the day went on. I did not have the day off. I nannied 3 crazy kids that day. I worked when I could. And then by, I guess, like 6 o'clock at night, I was sitting at Success Club 2. So I had a couple options. Could I work a little bit, but then Greg was home, and so we spent time together and then kind of just let that goal fade away? Or I could work until midnight, and I could do everything in my power until the clock struck November 1st to know that as a coach, I did everything that I had to do. And I weighed the options. I mean, it was really tough because I'm somebody that when push comes to shove, I like to just close my eyes and not think about it and don't do the work. So I decided to show up until midnight because I knew if I did everything in my power that day, and if I failed anyway, no matter the outcome, that's failing forward, and that's being a good coach. And so that's what I did. I worked until midnight. I hit Success Club at 11:50, and there were some diamonds up with me on the diamond thread as I'm like giving them a play-by-play.
I was going to say, literally, we got a play-by-play.
Like, I wish I had the time. It was like 8 minutes, and I had to tell the girl, like, listen, you got to sign up by midnight. I did a little giveaway. But it worked out in my favor. But the lesson was I was going to go to bed that night knowing I had done everything in my power that I could do. Control the control. I was going to do everything that I could. And if it didn't work out, that to me is failing forward. And I really learned that lesson. I don't think I understood what that meant until that day. And then I'll just sort of say, earlier that night on Monday night, I was talking to Greg. Greg's my boyfriend, for you guys who don't know, I'm referencing him. I talk about him like he's a celeb. So we were talking, and I said, in months past, I know that I slacked, and that's why hitting Success Club was hard. But in October, I really didn't. I did my power hours every day. I posted. I didn't really let my foot off the gas, and so it was tough for me to digest. Why didn't it work out? Why did I not hit Success Club? Well, because it was a really hard month. So I was struggling with this idea of like, what am I supposed to learn? What can I look back? What should I have done differently or better in October, And so I'm telling him, I'm like, you know what? But I'm going to stay up until midnight. And he said something really powerful, and I love that he challenges me like this, but he said, I said, I'm going to stay up till midnight. Like, is that what I have to do? And he said, maybe you should have stayed up until midnight every night until you hit your goal. And it just totally struck me like, yeah, maybe I should have. Maybe October 1st, I should have stayed up till midnight. And then October 2nd until I hit Success Club 5. And then I wouldn't be sitting there having that conversation with him. So that was a really powerful thing. He probably doesn't even realize how powerful it was, but I'm going to take that with me. So when you're thinking about your diamond goal, maybe you should stay up till midnight every single night until you hit your goal. And I don't mean literally stay up till midnight if that doesn't work for you, but I mean, maybe you should do everything in your power every day until you hit your goal. So I have worked till almost midnight every day since. It's kind of stuck with me. But I could talk a lot about what really made me diamond, but I think the biggest takeaway is your mindset and your belief. And no matter what, if you do everything you are supposed to do as a coach and it doesn't happen for you, that's failing forward. And that's what you should be working towards. So that's that. And I don't think I talked that fast and I feel really good about it. Okay.
That was very good. Not fast at all. You're so eloquent. I just like sit and just like look at her. I'm like, you just talk so good. If that's a talent, she has it. No, but seriously, I just love her story, and she just has a really good, just the way that she approaches her business. And I see a lot of what she does and how I built my business too, which is, I think, is how she and I really connected when she became a coach. We were very similar, but basically the bottom line is, you guys, is having to like just decide that you're going to do it. And that's the thing, when we say that, did you really give it your all? I mean, if you went to bed at 8 o'clock because you were tired, not really, right? Because that kind of makes me feel like your goal isn't big enough, or like you don't want it enough. Yes, sleep is important, obviously, and balance and that kind of thing. But we just kind of want you guys to have this idea of, you got to have the mindset that you have to do literally the best that you can do, so that when you go to bed, do you really feel confident that you did everything in your power to control the controllable of your environment and be successful. And if you still don't meet that goal, then that's totally fine, because you should feel completely fulfilled in the process of working so hard to get there, even if you fall short. It's okay to miss goals, and it's just so part of the journey. Believe me, I have missed so many goals, and I still haven't even met my goal that I personally have for myself. And it's just part of the process, but you have to know that you've done everything that you can do in your power to control what you can, and go to bed feeling really proud about how you've gotten there. So, but I just kind of want to leave it open. Does anybody have like questions, or like, I'm trying to think of like important things for them to know. So maybe some of you guys that are my leaders already, like just important things for them to know as they're working towards this goal, or even like technical things. Like if you guys don't know how to see something in the back office, like maybe we should tutorial you to give you a tutorial really quickly, and things that maybe you just don't know yet, or have questions about. So feel free to unmute yourselves. We want to just kind of be here for you. And this is kind of like the fun part of our little diamond dates, is just getting to chat and collaborate and stuff. Does anybody have any thoughts or anything about any of that?
In the chat, and I don't need to answer this, somebody else can, but what was on, this isn't you, Ashley. I think it's a different Ashley. It doesn't say last names. What was on your list to do every day to get to diamond? How many invites did you do to coaching each day before you hit diamond? So a lot of coaches are surprised by this. I went diamond completely on discount coaches. I didn't have business builders to go diamond. And sometimes I'll tell my coaches that, and they're like, oh, really? So I don't know that I was sending out a lot of invites to coaching. I probably was in addition to the challenge group, but you don't have to have business builders to go diamond. You need just a coach is a coach is a coach. So,
yeah, I was going to say that too. I mean, I'm actually opposite. I have never had a lot of discount coaches for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I mean, I have them now, obviously, from staying on Shakeology. But when I personally went diamond, like the Power Hour tracker that I made you guys, which of course I don't have my copy in my office right now, the one that I made you guys with like the pretty colors and stuff on it, that's like gold and like pink and blue and all that, that is like more than I did when I was pushing for diamond. So like that is like maximize, really good, this is what you should be doing every single day kind of thing. Because I really thought about, now, 2 years into the business, what you guys really need to be doing every single day to just get out there and be posting, give you ideas of what to post and give you ideas of messages to send and all kinds of stuff like that. Like I just, in my Diamond Catcher thread, we were just talking about cold market stuff. And so we just went through a bunch of cold market, like message invites and stuff for people who my business is completely built on my cold market. And I know it's the same for Allie. I don't have a lot of warm market people. Like I don't have many friends or family that are signed up as coaches or even customers. So it's funny because I'm like the opposite. I'm like the weird, like ugly duckling of Beachbody because I'm not the same as like all the people that normally do trainings. They're like, I built my warm market first and then my cold market and all this stuff. And I didn't have any of that. So I pretty much purely built on like Instagram and people like that. And I really focused on the way that I shared my journey to connect with like as many people as I could. And you can probably think about, those of you who are my coaches on here, you can think about the time that maybe the post that you saw that made you reach out to me, or right after when I reached out to you. You can probably remember that kind of thing, but I guarantee you it probably was because of a post that I made. And so that's kind of how I really built my entire journey and stuff. I was really trying to share so much about my overall just like coach lifestyle, selling your lifestyle is what we kind of say, but, not selling the products and stuff, but just purely sharing my journey through life, through fitness, through nutrition, through my community was a huge thing. Most of my coaches who join are looking for something just like this, right? And that's exactly what is so appealing to so many people. But I don't think there's like a really specific, for me, I'm just going to answer that, but I'm going to let some of my other leaders talk about how they kind of did their stuff, how many invites they sent. I don't have a certain number of invites that I sent. I just followed my Power Hour sheet every single day and just without fail. But I did not take the easy way out. I was very unbalanced. I'm not unbalanced, but imbalance, is that the right word? but I knew that, in my mind, and even still, like I have a goal and a vision for my, for my family, that's my why, but I also have a goal and a vision for you guys and for my coaches and stuff. And so that's why I still choose to stay up late and I still choose to get up early and I still choose to work in every single little crack of my time so that I can do my Power Hour and support you guys and support the other coaches who are not in this, in this thread and in this kind of like elite group right here, So for me, I'm willing to kind of live the imbalanced life for a while because I don't deserve the glamorous life yet. I'm not where I want to be yet. And so for me, it's worth the sacrifice and it's worth the hustle and the early morning and some of the stuff that's just uncomfortable to do, but it's worth it because, that I have a goal and I have a thing that I'm working for. So, that's kind of just, again, goes back to what Allie was saying, you have to have that mindset and that thing that is pushing you enough to where it doesn't matter, how late you have to stay up, but you're going to finish your Power Hour. I think Lindsay Ann maybe could have a couple things to say about this because she works on the least amount of sleep of anybody in our team and is crazy, has 3 kids and works a crazy job and gets up early at like 4 a.m. and she's a freaking boss, but she has grown so fast and will be where she's going to be at the end of this year because she has not let any excuses. Never once have I had to tell her to do anything. She does it all on her own because she has her own goals. So Lindsay, maybe you want to talk about how it was when you went to Diamond because you were very similar to Allie.
Y'all are sweet. Excuse me. One thing I was just going to say, and I think I said this on Jesse's call, so excuse me if any of you girls have already heard this. But it's those sacrifices, and Ashley and Allie have talked about this too, but I haven't watched TV since March. Like, I don't even know what's on. So, like, that's one thing that, like, I know that sounds silly and some people are like, what? But that's just a sacrifice I've made. And then, like, Ashley said, I go to bed 10:30 or 11 and I'm up at 4. So sleep right now is not important. Building my business and reaching my goals is what, drives me and my why, obviously. But like Allie said, it's just a mindset. And so when I was going Diamond, it was kind of, that was my goal at the beginning of my summer vacation when I got out for summer, and I was like, listen, I've got more time to do this. I've got to do it now. And Ashley really encouraged me. I had this like really crazy goal and she was like off goal and she was like, no. So she was like, you're going to do it by this date. And I was like, okay. And so I actually went Diamond the day of the retreat. So that was kind of cool because I was like, oh, I'll be with those girls next time. But it was just one of those things too. It was a mindset and making sacrifices. So it's possible. You just have to, make sure that you're in the mindset and that you're putting those excuses. There's no good excuse. Like they're really, I mean, I know that sounds kind of harsh, but if you want it, you can make it work. So.
Yeah.
I have something to add to that too.
Yeah, go girl. Hi, Kim.
Hey, sorry. And if I sound out of breath or like I'm dying, it's just because I'm super pregnant. So, sorry. So my story was a lot like Ashley or like Allie's too. I remember Ashley coming to me and saying, well, just telling me about the Diamond Retreat. And I told her, I was like, Ashley, that's in 2 weeks and I can't do that. And she was like, no, you totally can. And I was like, okay. So I totally slacked off for the whole 2 weeks, but the day of the deadline, I messaged her and I was like, I think it was like 10 in the morning. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I need like 6 coaches today, but I'm going to do it. And what Allie said about just getting that mindset, like telling yourself it's going to happen and like picturing it in your head, that really does work. And it helps. Like, I remember it was like 10 in the morning and I was like, I'm exhausted. I was pregnant and I didn't know it. So I was like even more exhausted, and I have a toddler. And I just told myself, I was like, I could not live with myself if tonight on our diamond call, I see all these people going diamond and I wasn't there. And so I went back through every notebook I ever had that I ever wrote anything in Beachbody related. I went through every power hour I ever did, every tracker. And I had quite a handful of girls that I had been talking to for like a year. And I basically went through and bribed the crap out of all of them. Like I was pulling out all the stops. I had a couple of unopened programs because I was just doing them on Beachbody On Demand. And I was like, I'll give you a free program if you sign up with the challenge pack today. Like, you'll get 2 for 1 and stuff like that. I mean, prizes really work. And then honestly, this might be kind of tacky, but if you've been talking to people for like months and you have built some sort of relationship, even outside of Beachbody, but you've talked to them about Beachbody, I had no shame in being like, look, I'm trying to hit this major goal in my business. And I know we've talked about this before and you're kind of on the fence. So today is like the perfect day for you to sign up. And I swear it was like almost midnight or something. And I hit diamond and I just was like, I cannot believe I did it. So I think just picturing yourself there by the deadline or before, like pick a day before, because that's stressful the day of. But I mean, just make it happen. You can do it. And like how Greg told Allie, imagine had you been up till midnight, like every night before this. My husband said the same thing to me. He was like, imagine if you did this every day. And I was like, yeah, my kid would not survive. But the gist of it is if you work your tush off, you'll get to where you want to be. So yeah, that's all I really had to say. I just wanted to reiterate, she was so right in everything she said.
Yeah, very, very true. Yeah, I forgot about that. Kayla was one of them. I think we had a live power hour that night too, and like we had like 7 people go diamond. It was like, and another, hold on, pause the live power hour, and another. It was so funny. So hopefully that'll be this time around too, because it was so fun. It was so much fun. But does anyone else have like any questions, or any of my other leaders? Do you guys have any just like little tidbits you want to like throw in there to encourage these ladies? Don't be shy. Oh, Kristen, you had a question. Did you have a question for Allie? I forgot about it.
I did, but Kayla kind of just answered it. I was just thinking, like, I've been trying to figure out a way, like Allie said, with that date, like having a certain date, whether it be retreat or something in mind, and you know that by that day you need to hit this goal. And then so you kind of just get excited yourself. And how do you approach when you have a handful of people that even you've been talking to, like Kayla said, for a long time, and you just can't get them on board? How do you approach it with that date in mind without being too pushy once it gets too close? You know what I mean? So it's like, without saying like, I need you to do it now. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know how to approach the people who are kind of just dragging their feet a little bit.
Yeah, I know for me personally, and Allie will speak for herself too, but for me personally, and like Kayla said, like doing little giveaways has been crazy.
Yeah.
And you guys, I have like a shit ton of stuff that I can send out for you. So if you ever need like giveaway stuff, like just be like, Ashley, I need to do a giveaway. Can you send stuff for me? Because I have like so many samples and so many like odd and end programs, so many like Beachbody performance line stuff. So like that's a good way to do that, you know, like little you know, reaching back out to somebody and just saying, you know, if you kind of, it's all in the way that you say it. And I think, because sometimes I think like everyone just kind of knows what to say, but then I forget that maybe you don't. So like for me, like what I would do in a situation like this, if I have talked to this whole handful, this whole list of people, I would probably go in and I would write out literally all the people that I've ever talked to about coaching, even if they never responded, even if they said no, even if they said, oh, maybe, even if they said yes and then never followed back up with me, anything, I would reach back out to them and just say, hey, Kristen, I know that we talked about, you know, coaching a while back and it wasn't really the, you know, the best time for you. Just wanted to see, you know, have you given it any more thought, or do you think that, you know, maybe it could be a better time to talk about it? You know, we actually have a new sneak peek open. You know, I would love to share some videos with you. And tonight what I'm doing is any of my new coaches that sign up, I'm going to send them kind of some of my favorite new coach goodies to get started with. And something like that. There's so many people who have a love language for gifts like myself. I'd probably be like, yeah, sign me up if I'm going to get a gift, you know, so you just never know kind of who the person is, but that's the way you could do it. And just, you know, kind of just taking it back and saying, you know, like doing that objection thing where you kind of bring up the objection already. Like, I know you told me it wasn't a good time a couple months ago, but I thought I would reach back out again because, you know, you just never know how times change. And for me, you know, I went through that too. You know, if you can relate yourself to that too, you know, I went through a time where I didn't think coaching was for me. And I'm so glad that I revisited the idea or something like that, you know, kind of squashing the objection and also coming back and giving a little bit of your story too can make a huge kind of just like Mary Catherine talked about in her live video today. If you guys watched that, you know, very, very, very similar to that. And I can't remember what else I was going to say because I have total Prego brain. Anyone else? Allie, you have any thoughts about that?
I immediately, as you were talking, Kristen, thought I would do a giveaway. I did it on my Diamond Day. I gave away a couple. I don't take the packaging off DVDs when I bought Challenge Pack, so I gave away programs. And then this past day, and I'll credit Ashley to getting my last Success Club points, was I did a Halloween giveaway. And I actually went to TJ Maxx today and got her a few things. So I would do definitely a giveaway. I signed a lot of challengers up as discount coaches on my Diamond Day. They just wanted a challenge pack, and I walked them through, and at the very last step I said, you know, something I do with a lot of my challengers is I sign them up as discount coaches, and I would love to just explain what that means. You don't have to coach. Don't get freaked out by that word. It just means if you would like to continue Shakeology in your second month, you can do so automatically, and I don't have to come not hound you down, but ask for more paperwork, and you have to get a refund. It just makes it a little more seamless. And then if you don't want to continue Shakeology, you just cancel, no problem. So it makes it easier on you. Again, like put it in, you know, their terms they can understand. And a lot of people are like, yeah, sure, no problem, sign me up. So I did that. And then the last thing I'll say, and I'm going to lose it, but I'm not pregnant. No. Wait, hold on. A giveaway. Oh, I got it. Remind people of their goals. If you have been talking to these people for a while, you know what their goals are, and you can give it right back to them and say, listen, you came to me and you said you didn't like, this was a real example. You looked in the mirror today and you didn't like what you saw. You're having a love-hate relationship with your body. Repeat their goals back to them and say, this is what you told me that you wanted to do. I want to help you achieve that. I want to work with you so that you look in the mirror and you love what you see and you feel so good from the inside out. And sometimes you just need that reminder of something they already want for them to be like, you're right. You know what? Sign me up. Don't be afraid to give pushback when you hear an objection. Not when you hear like a flat out no, don't talk to me, but like don't be afraid to go back and forth with them and find a solution for them. Just because you've heard no or not right now, there's something deeper there. And if you find out what their goals are and get to know and then remind them of their goals, a lot of times they'll say, it took some convincing. I mean, the best challengers I have are the ones that are like, okay, you convinced me, I'm ready. people need that push. So those are the things I would say.
And some are still going to say no or not answer you, but that's just part of it. But that's a really great idea, and I do the same. So, any other ideas? Oh yeah.
I would also add, so I went Diamond just a couple weeks after Allie again for the Diamond retreat, and I was moving across the country. So I was in the car all day. I was moving from Texas to Colorado. And so I just got people on the phone because that was literally the only way I could talk to them until like 10 p.m. at night or something. And I was exhausted and like didn't want to do it. But a lot of the time people just want to hear, like it's a lot easier if you have somebody that's really slow with answering messages or things like that, just getting them on the phone and being able to easily explain everything. Then like, I know we've talked about this on the Diamond thread a lot, but pretty much that always leads to someone signing up because they're like, oh, that's it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it really does. And I hate getting on the phone. Like I'm like, no, I hate phone talking. Like I'm so introverted. It's like literally I start sweating. Like I'm not even kidding. I like pace back and forth and I'm like sweating the entire time I'm on the phone with them. But it always ends in them being like, okay, yeah. And a lot of times I've actually just spoken to 2 potential coaches this week who both of them are hesitant because of Shakeology. And it helped so much for me to be able to get on the phone with them and talk about Shakeology and talk about what it's done for me and all that kind of stuff rather than like word vomit a whole bunch of crap about it's this and it's got this and it's got all this in it and it's going to make you feel great. You know, it helps a lot just to kind of let them hear your voice. At minimum, do some voice messages. Like that is, especially if you're going to follow up for something like all these little tips that we were just giving you guys, doing a voice message can go a really long way. But also if you guys have not been pushing the discount coach thing from the beginning, and I know Jenny does that too, right? Jenny, don't you do discount coaching? A little bit. Oh no, never mind. Just shaking your head. But that can help too. You know, that's a really great way to get some discount coaches in. And like go in your back office and run a report. If you guys don't know how to run a report, I can do a little tutorial video, or you guys can go on YouTube and type, how do I run a report for Beachbody, whatever. And there's always videos on it. But doing, run a report in your back office of all of your customers who are on HD Shakeology. If they're not coaches and it's been like over a month or 2 they've been on Shakeology, go message them and voice message them. Say, hey, I just wanted to reach out really quickly and tell you that you could be saving so much money on Shakeology. I just wanted to make sure that I reached out and, whatever, and told them a little bit about it. It doesn't hurt to do that. And especially in a push like you guys are in right now, you need every single person that you can get. And so it's okay to go Diamond with discount coaches. And almost 90% of people do. There are very few coaches who go with complete all business builders, all in, all working the business. I myself did not even go that way. So for you to feel like you have to have all business builders is not true. Is it awesome? Absolutely. And you want to have as many business builders as you can, but that doesn't mean, don't forget about all those people who are getting Shakeology already and who are signing up as challengers and who you're hitting Success Club with. Those are all people who could really be benefiting from the opportunity to get that discount for you to talk to them and say, hey, would you like me to add you into my team page? You can kind of just feel the atmosphere. And sometimes it's just kind of fun for you to get to be a part of the team, because even though you're just a discount coach, you really are part of our team. And 9 times out of 10, they say yes. And then they start to really see how much fun we have and all these calls, and they hop on the calls. I have discount coaches who surprised me a couple weeks ago that were on one of our calls with Joel. And I was like, really? And she's like wanting to get back into coaching now and getting a new challenge pack and stuff. So, you just never know. But that is such a really easy way to kind of make sure that you're touching every single person that you can. So if you haven't been doing the discount coach option for your already challengers or your new ones, definitely don't forget about that. And that is something that could help you out and get you a little bit closer. Anything else? Questions? Any of you diamond catchers, y'all have been quiet. Does anyone have questions?
I have a question.
Yeah, there we go. See, our thread is always questions. So come on, I know you guys aren't that quiet. You guys are fooling everybody.
I have a coach that just went Emerald, and she is on the same side as my husband is, who I'm going to try to attempt to push him to Emerald too, to get to Diamond. So does it matter that they're on the same side?
Yes. I was just going to say,
okay.
It does matter.
So is there a way to move? Is there a way to move her?
Nope. So as you guys are building, keep that in mind that after you sign up a coach, you cannot move them within 5 days of them signing up. So you got to be thinking about that. Now, me as a leader, after being here for 2 years, you will just never know the coaches who are actually going to build the business and just take off with it. There's some that you will be able to pin from the beginning. There's some that you're going to think are going to be amazing, and they're not even going to get started. They're going to quit before they start. But that's just part of it. Just part of the journey and part of just, I think that's kind of God's way of forming us as leaders and forming us to be more like stronger women, is just dealing with the objections and the failures and just having to kind of roll with it and be confident and positive in the midst of it. So, but that will happen, and you will have to, overcome obstacles like that. But right. So you cannot have an emerald. It has to be on either side. So, so work with another coach that's on your other leg, somebody who, speaks some truth into them and some positivity into them. Let them know that you think that they're awesome, that they really could do this, and that emerald. You guys, emeralds might seem like a really huge feat, but if I have learned anything from just all of the trainings and watching coaches go emerald, it is a total choice. It is a complete choice. You can absolutely choose to not be afraid to ask a family member and ask a close friend to sign up and say, hey, will you give me a month and try getting fit with me and see what you think? Like, it is an absolute choice. So just make sure that you're working with your coaches and stuff. We have so many little Emerald in the Day trainings. You have me, you have other leaders, your coaches. So just make sure that if you have somebody that you think could actually do it or that you think would be amazing, don't be afraid to tell them that. Sometimes they just need a little pep talk. They just need to know that you believe in them.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
That cleared that up. Thanks.
Yeah. Don't be defeated. You can still do it.
Things changed, so it's just kind of throwing me off a little bit.
Yeah, it's okay. You can do it. I see a question. Sorry. Chat. Let's see. Are we going to be doing? Yes, we're doing an Emerald in a Day group next week. And the Emerald in a Day training, Pam, is in our Inspiration Crew Google Drive. I think I just need to post the link to the Google Drive again because people keep losing it if they never saved it. But in the Google Drive, there is a folder that's called Trainings. And there you are on the bottom. And there's the Emerald in a Day, like all the list of like for you to run your own. And then there's videos in there. But we're going to actually run our own, the Inspiration Crew. So you'll see some of our faces on the videos rather than Team Inspiration. So you guys can get girls in there. Other thoughts? Anyone? Oh, I just realized we have a second page. That's exciting. Any other questions? Leaders, any of you guys have anything to say? Pep them up or pump them up or cheer them on? Coaches Tennis us. Oh, what is that book? Okay, Taylor just said she's so close, but she has coaches that are starting to begin doubting themselves and thinking about quitting. You guys, okay, let me just tell you. If I can tell you how many coach cancellation emails, how many messages I get from my own coaches, from my leaders' coaches, from coaches that I don't even know, but they're just in our downline of like pure doubt, of pure, this is not for me, of pure, I didn't hit Success Club, I have to quit. I mean, like, you name it, I have gotten that message like so much in the last couple months. But it is your job to just, you set the vibe for your little tribe, whether it's one coach that you have, or it's 5 coaches, or 12, or 1,000 coaches. You absolutely set that vibe. So you have to just pretend like nothing is wrong. Like, it is not a horrible time. Like, you are going to push and bust your butt. Like, there is nothing stopping you. You set the tone of sharing positive videos with them and positive messages, and reaching back out to them and giving them tips and putting them in contact with me or somebody else if they're struggling. So it's so hard, and coaches, you can't control them, obviously, but you very much set the tone for them, for how they're going to move forward. And so your job is just to encourage them as much as you can and speak some positivity and encouragement into their life as much as you can. Even when you're not feeling it, you've got to put on that face of like, yes, you can absolutely do this. Let's talk about it. Let's set up a strategy. What is your goal? I think so many times that we have a lot of coaches that, maybe are just at the coach rank, and then they don't have a goal in mind though, right? Like, they haven't set an Emerald goal, or they haven't set an income goal, or they don't really have a big why So it's so important to kind of think about that too, even from the very first day that they sign up as a coach. You know, every single person that I hear that message from, or that I get this kind of doubtful message from, it always goes back to they're not really doing personal development. They've kind of forgotten about how important their why was to them and what it would mean for them. And they just kind of they maybe have felt a little bit out of touch from either the community, from the team, from you. So it kind of just, you know, it involves you just kind of like letting go of your pride and knowing that it's not a reflection of you, but also you just kind of just pouring on as much positivity and encouragement to them as you can. You know, you can't control them, but you can control that. You can control the controllable, which is just how you know, interact with them and what you provide your coaches and the kind of support that you provide them. Because when you go diamond, that's your team. That's your little tribe. That's who helped you get there, right? They're important. So they need to feel it too. They need to know that. But there's a book that Renee said, Renee D, is she still on? I'm trying to think of.
She had to go.
I think she left. She shared a book with us today, and I'm trying to think about what it was called. And it was really good because it was all about doubt. And so that might be a really good book to, here it is. It's called Rejection Proof. So if you personally are doubting, or you have coaches who are doubting, that might be a really great, and it's got like a little rainbow on it, and it's called Rejection Proof. And she said that it's really, really good about just kind of like doubt, self-doubt, and like just beating fear. It says how I beat fear and became invincible through 100 days of rejection. So, and then the umbrella above it says has all these little no's raining down on it. So that might be something really good for somebody who you know, or maybe yourself personally, if you're struggling with kind of just the overall rejection and maybe kind of self-sabotaging thoughts and things like that. Anything else? Any other thoughts? Who's excited? Who's not excited? That's good.
I'm excited.
Good. That's awesome. Well, we think you guys are great. And if you're not, I think most of you guys are at least in some kind of thread. If you're not in one, make sure that you are. I have a Diamond Catcher thread, so if you want to be added to that, you can just let me know or comment on our post in the page. But we're always sharing all kinds of tips. Pam asked for cold market messages. I will send those to the team, our Diamond Catcher page. I kind of have a series of like 2 or 3 messages that you can send to somebody who needs a message from you that's kind of in your cold market that maybe you really haven't built a relationship with yet. And it's been fairly successful for myself. So I will share those with you. But main thing, you guys, is having that vision. My son is like screaming out there. I don't know if y'all can hear him or not, but yeah, just having that mindset and that vision of you, where you are, what you're wearing, what you're doing, how you're going to feel when it happens. I want you to write it out 500 times wherever you need to put it on a sticky note on your mirror. Be reading a really good personal development book. If you're not reading something that's inspiring you right now, leave it aside and get something different, because that can make 10 times the difference as well. Maybe get some kind of leadership book, something that's a little bit more tied to leadership right now and just kind of like self-belief and stuff. That might be something that would really help you over this next month while you're pushing for this really big goal of yours. So let us know what we can do to help you. Hopefully this boot camp is kind of helping you guys, just keeping you on par. Make sure that you're commenting. I'm about to go through and comment underneath all this stuff that I've seen in the last 2 days. But those, this is a really good boot camp. It's different than what we've done before. So anyways, we're trying to help you as much as we can. So we're excited for you guys, and this is exciting. Does anybody else have anything to say before I let us go? No? Okay, cool.
I don't think so.
All right, awesome. I see a bunch of thank yous. All right, let me take a screenshot so in case any of you guys want to share about this, and then I will post it, and I will not forget, because I always forget, and then I always have to go back to my computer. I'm like, oh, crap. Okay, hold on.
Hello.
Let me get rid of the chat box. Hold on. Okay. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, cute. All right, I will post that in our Diamond page, and I hope you all have a good night. Thank you so much for getting on and investing in your business and in our girl chat. It's awesome. All right, we'll see you guys soon.
Thanks,
Bye.
Ashley.
Bye,
Thank
girls.
you, Allie. Thanks, Linda.